Hi, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the public sector track at this year's Engage conference. This session will cover best practices for scaling your operations. Here's our legal slide. There is quite a lot of text on here. The main thing to note is that this session may contain forward-looking statements and that trademarks in the presentation are not endorsements. So hello again, my name is Molly. I am a customer success manager here at Smartsheet. I'm based in Boston and I support many of our state and local government customers. I've worked at Smartsheet for just about 2 years, and fun fact, my first week at Smartsheet was actually our Engage 2018 conference. I have the pleasure of working with many great customers, and one that I've been consistently impressed with is the City of Columbus. Today, we're diving into how the city is leveraging Smartsheet and our Premium Application Control Center to drive transparency and scale their operations. One of the main drivers of the city's success is Sam Akuli, who I'm thrilled to introduce you to now to share his story.
Thank you, Molly. My name is Sam Akuli, and I serve as an IT project manager at the City of Columbus. We've been using Smartsheet since 2018, and I will share with you how Smartsheet has helped us to enhance and streamline our operations within the project management office. But before I get started, please allow me to share a few words about our organization. The City of Columbus is the 14th biggest city in the country. It is one of the fastest growing economies, and this is not only due to the governance of the city government, but it is also due to the businesses and the citizens. The city won the global award as the smartest city in 2015, and we were compared with some great cities throughout the world. We have over 6,000 employees and 20 departments, and our Department of Technology, which is where I work at, serves all city departments as well as other elected officials such as the city attorney, the city treasurer, and the city council. So over the course of this short presentation, I intend to share with you the following. Firstly, I will briefly discuss the role of operations in the public sector. Secondly, I will discuss some of the challenges and opportunities that we have faced. And lastly, I will demonstrate how we have utilized Smartsheet to meet our challenges and implement industry best practices. Operations is not about keeping the lights on. Operations is the core of providing a good or a service not only for the manufacturing industry, but also for the service industry. Now, being in the public sector, our success is defined on how well we serve our citizens. Our services include utilities, permits, safety, collection of refuse, or getting a birth certificate, just to name a few. All the services and products are products of operations. But at the end of the day, what is operations? Operations is a set of processes that, when integrated and streamlined, produce a service that will meet customer specifications, but when they fail, will leave the customer wanting. So in order to integrate and streamline processes, the industry in general has adopted the lean methodology. And the lean methodology, fun fact, rose out of Japan and originally was developed by Toyota after World War II, where the resources were quite scarce. It was built on the fundamental goal that waste can be eliminated. So lean strives to eliminate waste by utilizing the following 5 principles. First is define the value. Second is to map the value stream, map the process. Thirdly is to create the flow. Repeat the process several times to the point where, fourth point, is standardized. And finally, it strives for perfection. And perfection means that we never stop improving. As we're implementing lean, we're continuously improving our processes by continuously redefining the values, redefine our processes, and creating those standards. So lean, however, though, it's a framework, it's a philosophy. And frameworks don't implement themselves. And here is where Smartsheet comes in our case. It is a tool designed to create flow and standardization, and it is flexible enough to allow us to strive for perfection. And I can tell you, we're not there yet. And if we're using lean, we will never be at the point of perfection. We will always keep improving. Now, please allow me to share about our journey. And remember that I speak within the project management scope. So like most changes, our changes were as a result of a challenge. So we wanted to improve automation and consolidation. We wanted to increase transparency and standardization for our projects. And we wanted to increase collaboration among stakeholders. And our leadership, especially our director, recognized the potential of Smartsheet to help address those challenges. And we did so by improving automation through forms, sheets, and self-populating dashboards. We utilize dashboards to foster transparency, and we increase collaboration by using Smartsheet tools, online tools. Now, let me demonstrate one of our challenges. And I have a visual for you. At the end of every project, we ask all stakeholders to complete a survey about the service that they receive from our office. And it works like this. The project manager sends the survey form, it's a form, an attachment in a Word format to the stakeholder. The stakeholder downloads it, completes the survey, saves it into their computer, and after some time goes by, if they still remember, they email it to the project manager. The project manager collects all surveys, calculates the results, and provides the report, which is then sent back to the stakeholders to determine the level of our services. This was the old process. So by implementing Smartsheet, we were able to reduce the amount of time needed to complete this process. Right now, this is only a two-step process. The project manager sends the link of a form to the stakeholder. It's a form. We send the link to the stakeholder, and the stakeholder completes it. And at the moment that they click submit, the system calculates the results into a report, which is immediately accessible for the stakeholders' review. Now, let's go back to the question that we started with of how we streamlined our processes. How did we address our challenges? And interestingly, knowingly or unknowingly, we applied some of the Lean's best practices by using Smartsheet. So first of all, as we talked about using Smartsheet, we had to define our processes. And our office was well established. We had solid processes. However, we had to make tweaks and we had to modify them. And we continue to modify them as our needs change. We work with Smartsheet professional service in order to implement our solution based on the processes that we already had defined. Thus, it is extremely important for any organization to define processes before implementing a particular system around those processes. So as a result, we had a standardized platform which standardized the set of processes, which consists of the following. Consists of the intake, of the control center, of the project sheets, as well as visualization. I will quickly walk you through our process in the next slide. The intake sheet that is in front of you begins the project acquisition process. It contains information and data that is used to create all artifacts. After it goes through the intake, then it goes through the control center, which utilizes the data from the intake to create a set of artifacts that are customized to the project on the one hand, but on the other hand, they're also in a standard format. They do not change from one project to another. The format doesn't. However, though, they are customized as far as data is concerned. Next, the primary sheets are then created by the control center in an automated manner. These artifacts include the budget sheet, project team, project schedule, methodology, communication plan, etc. And as you see, we have several of these forms that are being created. And then finally, there is the visualization that is used primarily by upper management as well as project sponsors. The dashboards in this slide is designed for upper management, and it provides a bird's eye view of our portfolio. It provides the number of our projects, provides the workload of a project manager. It indicates what projects are, what companies, what departments we're working with at this time, what vendors we're working with. And it provides a bird's eye view of the budgetary sheets and things like that. So this solution addressed several of our challenges, but we live in an ever-changing environment, and Smartsheet has the flexibility to allow us to adjust and improve our solution as the time goes by. As we have to make changes, we can make those changes in an easy manner. So as a result of our implementation, and I will conclude with this, we recognize various benefits and various opportunities. Let me start first with benefits. Smartsheet is an easy-to-use platform, and many people find it easy to navigate and to work with. Smartsheet provides real-time updates on project status. The project manager has to provide a status update only on one sheet, and all the information goes automatically to all the dashboards for the stakeholders, for the upper management, or whomever else needs to know. Smartsheet provides consolidation of all artifacts into one workspace. This includes documents, forms, reports, statuses, and many more. And I gotta confess, we're still in the process of consolidating everything as we speak. And finally, Smartsheet provides an automated reporting. I don't have to create a report for the stakeholder or one for the director's office. Everything is automatically provided on the dashboards. And finally, there are opportunities. Smartsheet is a SaaS platform, not a process. And we learned this very early on. We had to define our own processes. However, though, the platform aligns with operational best practices, and it helps us to implement and streamline our processes. It is not a process. However, though, it is flexible and it is intelligent enough to help us align with operational best practices. As we automated our processes, we were able to create training videos for each role. So we have a dashboard for new employees, which will help them understand our processes as well as help them to conduct work within our workspaces. And this has been a big plus for our organization. And finally, and this is the biggest strength of Smartsheet, I think, is the flexibility for continuous improvement. So the fifth principle of Lean, I indicated, is striving for perfection. And this principle assumes that there is continuous improvement. Smartsheet is a flexible platform that helps us improve our processes, not only for the present, but also for the future. As time goes by, we have to make changes, and we need a platform that will help us to strive for that perfection, help us to accommodate those changes in an easy manner. So improving processes will naturally lead to improving operations, since you might remember that operations are nothing else but an integration of processes. And operations will help us to enhance the service that we provide to our citizens by striving to eliminate operational waste and to reducing the turnaround time, which is another form of waste. And by doing so, we can provide a quality service for our citizens. So Molly, I want to thank you for giving me the time to share about our journey with Smartsheet. It has been a very fruitful one. Back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It was really interesting to hear about the lean methodology approach that you've taken with respect to the city's operations and how you're using Smartsheet to eliminate waste. I have no doubt that you've inspired countless other Smartsheet customers here today. For anyone who would like to learn more about what Sam spoke about, you can leverage these resources here. We have them available for both our Smartsheet commercial and government platform. And just a little note about these, our Learning Center is your 24/7 help center. We have articles, videos, as well as on-demand webinars. Our Mobilizer program will have resources you can use to share Smartsheet to both peers and executives at your organization. And the community page will allow you to interact with active Smartsheet users who are constantly sharing ideas and best practices. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.